Arlo is one of our favorite smart home security systems because it has a quite generous 7 days of free video storage for its cameras. So you can buy an Arlo system and you don't really have to get locked into a monthly subscription charge like, say, Nest and Ring do. Now, last year Arlo listed on the stock market. It is a growing company. This is smart home is an area that's going to get bigger, and they're expanding their product range. And a couple of the recently launched products here is the Arlo Audio Doorbell and the Arlo Chime. Compared to most of the doorbells from the competition, this is only an audio doorbell. It doesn't have a camera inside it. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, so let's just open this up here and see what's going on inside. It's about the same size as, say, the Nest video doorbell. It's a little bit smaller than the Ring doorbells. Button in the center, I guess that's speaker and mic up top, and that is probably an infrared sensor down the bottom. I have an Arlo system pretty much figured out here on the desk here. There's the base station, and I've got a camera and a couple of lights connected to it, and I'm going to add this into the system. And if I find the device tab here and add new device, the doorbell is one of the devices, so let's click that. Okay, so it's telling me to put the batteries in, which I've already done, so let's just hit continue on that. Make sure the LED ring is flashing white, which it is. And then it's going to look for it. Now this links into the Arlo base station, so it needs a connection with that. Of course, it's going to be no problem here right across the table. It's an interesting choice by Arlo to go for just an audio doorbell. That means that if you want to see someone that's on your doorstep, you need to have a camera mounted there anyway. You might have a camera already, but if they'd have gone for a video doorbell, it would have meant that you could have maybe moved that camera to somewhere else on your house. But it also means, though, that adding a doorbell is much cheaper because there is no video camera in it. So it's a sort of compromise that Arlo's gone for, and interesting that they've done it whereas many of their competitors have video doorbells. So we're curious to see this. It's just updated the firmware on it. Let's hit continue. Let's name it. Let's call it, just call it front door. And now it's asking us right here, you can see it's asking us to select an Arlo camera to pair with the doorbell. So I've got a couple of cameras here. I'm actually going to pair it with this one that I've called Back Porch. And it's asking about a chime as well. If you have an existing doorbell chime, I'm saying don't use my chime. And then your doorbell is now active. Let's finish that. And then before we set it up, I'm also going to add the Arlo Chime. Now the Chime comes in a much bigger box. One of the things I noticed, though, is that, have a look in there, a lot of this is actually not needed. That's how big that is. I think this is so big because they've made it double the size of the doorbell box, which probably means packing them in boxes is easier. I'm not fully on board with the waste in the packaging here, but we'll go for it anyway. I'm going to plug this into an outlet up here and do the same setup as well. So let's go back into add new device, plug it in. It's already plugged in. Make sure the white LED is flashing, which I can see it is. And then it's going to look for it and add it to my Arlo system. Now, as you saw when I was setting this up, there is an option to have this work with an existing door chime. That's if you have a wired doorbell and you have cables from here running back to a transformer with a door chime, you can get it to work there. But if you don't have a wired door chime, I think you're going to have to buy one of these as well. So let's just call it, let's also call this front chime. Spelling it correctly would help. There we go. And we've detected the front doorbell. Do you want to pair them? Yes. Okay, it's now active. Okay, so I have the doorbell and the chime connected to my Arlo system. I'm looking down at the doorbell now, and it's just sort of sitting there with a blank face. If someone was to approach the motion sensor on it, I think detects motion, and then this white ring around the doorbell button starts pulsing to sort of attract your attention and I guess tell you to, hey, press here. And then we're going to press the doorbell and see what happens. So let's go. So that was pretty fast. Within less than a second, the chime went. And now I'm getting a call on my cell phone. If I accept that, then up it comes here. And this is, let's switch that off. This is the camera that I paired earlier with myself, with this doorbell. So this would be the camera that's pointing at your front porch where the doorbell is. So you can go into having a video call with someone at the front door. I've noticed when it comes on with the audio from the camera coming out of your phone, but the audio from your phone is muted when you first start. So when you pick up a call and see who's there, the person at the front door is not going to hear you unless you press this button. Hello, who's this? And it's coming out of this now. Hello? How are you? The audio quality isn't great, and it doesn't seem that loud, especially if it's on a busy street, say, and there's lots of traffic. I'm not sure you're going to be able to hear this very well. And then one of the nice things about this is that all of those interactions at your front door are stored into your Arlo account. So you can click here and you can replay the conversation that you just had with someone at your front door. Now, what happens if you don't decide to answer the door? So I'm going to press the doorbell again. And like before, I'm getting a call on my phone. I'm going to hit decline.
To leave a message, please press the doorbell again. Thank you.
To leave a message, please press the doorbell again. So let's try that. Hi, it's me. I'm sorry I missed you. I'll try to come back later. Okay, a voice message was left on the front door, Arlo has told me. So if I pull it up, what we actually have here is a 30-second recording. So the voice message is, I guess, a fixed length, 30 seconds. And if I play that. Hi, it's me. I'm sorry I missed you. I'll try to come back later. That's actually pretty good audio quality. That's really good audio quality. I'm quite impressed with that. So there's one more thing I want to try. I'm going to press the doorbell again. And that's to find out what happens if I don't answer the phone and don't decline. So for example, if my phone is in my pocket or my bag, or I'm away from it and I don't see that someone's at my front door, what actually happens to the person that's on my doorstep? What do they hear from the doorbell? Is it anything? The phone's still ringing.
To leave a message, please press the doorbell again. Thank you.
Okay, so the phone gave up and out of the doorbell came a message saying that I could leave a message by pressing the doorbell again. So the last thing I want to show you is how you can get the doorbell to trigger other devices in your Arlo system. You've already seen that the camera comes on automatically when someone presses the door, but the doorbell also has this motion detector in the front, and we can use that to trigger other things too. I'm switching to an iPhone because during the testing of this, we discovered a bug in the Android app that only lets the doorbell trigger one device, and it should trigger multiple, and that works in the iOS app. So I'm going to open the Arlo app here and scroll on down to the front door and go up into motion settings. I've already been playing around with it, so I have one device in here, which is a light. And what I can do is tell it to turn on the light when motion is triggered. I can also set up motion triggered alerts. And I think it just detected me and switched on the light right there. What I can also do is I can add another device, so I can get another light turned on, I can get a camera turned on. Doing it this way, if you have multiple cameras or lights, or even just a pair, a camera and a light near your front door, you can have it so that when the doorbell senses movement, they automatically come on and the cameras start recording. That means that you're going to get recordings of anyone that comes up to your front door but doesn't press the doorbell. Also, if you're concerned about security or something like that, and you have several of these lights around the outside of your house, you can have them all come on when someone comes up to your front door. It's one of the nice features of the Arlo system that allows these different devices to trigger other things. So that's a look at the Arlo Audio Doorbell. I hope this video has been useful in showing you some of the ways that it can be set up and some of the ways it can be used.